Yeah, sure. Yeah, and especially if if you're doing that through, I would say the best bang for the buck is reducing beer loss because all of the costs of your materials, the energy, and the water are in that. So that's a great place to start for cost savings. And then it depends on where you live, really, and the cost of water, as far as like how big of an impact that will make. And so I personally think that water is undervalued. There are the ability for our water systems to deliver water to us is something I think we as a nation have taken for granted for a long time. And as we're seeing greater variances in precipitation and temperatures and the amounts of rainfall and the timing of rainfall or snowfall, then we're actually seeing some vulnerabilities in the water supply systems. And so there's really, the pricing mechanisms have not really caught up with the reality that's happening in the environment, and how water is being delivered to us. And so I think that it depends on where you live. Of course, it's so nice to save money, but I think that for us, we have had a lot of inexpensive solutions to saving water. For example, for the manual rinsing of our packaging halls, for example. People were doing that on their scheduled intervals, but they were also doing it at the end of their shift here, just to kind of help keep it clean for the next shift that would come in, and as a courtesy. And it was actually when we were talking to that group several years ago, they were the ones that said, hey, we kind of do this as a courtesy, but if we all agree that we can just stick to the schedule and not have a freshly washed space for every new shift that comes in, then we could probably save a lot of water. And so that's obviously one place where it worked. Financially, there was zero investment in that, and we saved money on the water savings. We also have seen an excellent payback on switching to a low water lubricant on our packaging lines, on the conveyor belts. In Asheville, we have a no water lubricant, and so that's saved millions of gallons of water and paid off pretty nicely. And then when we got a new bottling line at both breweries, we added in a feature that collects the internal rinse water and reuses it up for the external rinse. Once the bottles have been filled and capped, just wash the suds off with pretty clean water, and that paid off pretty well too. So there are points in the process where you can, when you're building it or improving it, you can do that, or for a lot less money, and there's a great payback on it, or on the behavioral side of things for sure. A lot of smaller brewers are actually cleaning by hand, and they don't have automated cleaning systems within their tanks like we do, and so there's a lot greater opportunity there to make some behavioral adjustments and save some water. So I would say, yeah, there's a business case for it. I wish there was more of one, and I expect that we'll see that the pricing mechanisms of water evolve with the supply. For example, here in Fort Collins, this summer we actually switched to we have a tiered water billing system, but we just switched to a time of day use for energy, and we're charging people differently based on the time of day they're using energy, even in their homes. And so I see some of that changing in energy, and I expect to see some of that evolving for water as well.